If you are aware what life is, it is nothing. It is not a thing. There is nothing, because what is at that same moment when it is past. It is history. And history is not existing. It's gone, it's passed by. And in this very moment, it's empty. And when something is happening, it happens at the same time that it is become history. You know? So life is nothing, it's empty. Hi, that's good. Which means that you cannot do a single thing about what is happening because it's already gone. Everything that happens is immediately gone. It is a thousandth of a fraction of a split second when something takes place. And it's gone. So how could you change something that is not even there? In emptiness, you cannot change anything. It's just your own idea of time that makes you receive things as if it is there. But it is gone when you receive it. It's already gone when you are aware of it. That means before it was there, you were empty, and at the moment that you receive it, it is gone. You are empty again. How can you do something about emptiness? That's your peace, understanding that nothing ever happens. It's not possible. It is gone, so nothing ever existed, and nothing will exist. That's your freedom, and that's your reality. My, what a difficulty that we spent so many ages and eons to find out that we are not there. So, well, let this think in your consciousness. So consciousness is aware that it is empty. Empty awareness. That's the bliss of existing. How can emptiness. You approve or understand or realize that nothing exists? That it is only a flash in eternity. And from eternity seen, that what happened, what apparently happened, it is not even visible. It's just so small that it is not even noticed. When you are in that free state of yourself, it's maybe a funny example, but nothing is really happening. It is only history. You have a cup of coffee and you throw it by accident on the table. That's what happened. But you didn't see it happen because it was already, it happened already before you could react. So there is this coffee on the table. Now you go, react, and take a towel and dry the coffee. So did you see it happen? No. But you can see that it happened by means of that stain on the table. There is a little color different. you cannot do anything about what is, because in reality nothing is. All that you see is memory of what once appeared to be. When you see the stain on the table, you remember there was coffee there, but the coffee is not there now. It's history. And it's with everything. If you notice that everything is just memory and history is long gone, you see a movie on the television. Oh, it's exciting and wow, it's beautiful. And then you see the description. The movie was made in 1940 or 2008. Right? Just so, what was happening then? You think you see it now, but at the moment you see it, there's already the next piece of movie going on. Only thing that exists for us is long gone. It's past. It's not there. So we spend our time, our life in that which is past. And one thing remains. It is the longing for our own free self. And that free self is there all the time. That empty, blissful self that you are. It is not filled with things that have passed already. You see a photograph of a nice place, nature, there's sunshine and a little house. You see the car that you drove is standing there. So it is a memory of a vacation. It's long gone. On the vacation you see sunshine and beautiful flowers, but when you look out of the window you see snow in the garden here. So it's gone. And the moment you see the snow in the garden is also already gone, because, well, it's a silent moment, but snow will melt. And you see that all that you receive is already gone by. It is, you live in your own made up past, your memory. And you want to have that memory thrown over your present moment in the future, because you want to repeat it. Oh, it was nice there in the sun, in the little house on holidays. Oh yes, it was nice. I will go there again. So where are you? You are not in your really being. You are not being. You are being in the I was-ness. In the I thought so-ness. You are not being. You live in the past and you throw it in the future. And there you are, divided by your own self. That's your mind. That's the present of your mind, to divide you. Don't take that present. Take the gift of God that is filled up with the blissful moment of the presence of the real self that you are. On my calendar upstairs in my room, there is a photo of Baba which says, with blessing hands, and he says, take each day, no, he says, live peacefully, happily, contentedly, taking each day as a gift of God. You know what that means? The whole day is His gift. It is the blessings of the moment that He gives all day long. And that's not memory, that's not the past, and that's not the future. That is the present of the presence, of the now, of the self, of God. Blessings, blessings, blessings. You could think of the moments that are silent, that they are not in the past. But there is something to it. How can you say? You don't see it as moving. For the mind, it seems to be still. But like the melting snow on the branches in the garden. You don't see it move and change. But it is. Because when you look a half a day later, the snow can be gone. Although you would never saw it move. You cannot catch a silent moment. Why not? There is no mind allowed in that silence. So the mind cannot say, it is not moving, I don't see anything moving. No, because the mind cannot see that, what is not moving, because mind is moving. An example, you cannot see your hair grow, and still it is moving. That means 1 second and another second, there is different. It is if you had could measure it, you could see a slightly different. So that one moment that you see the hair and the next moment that you see the hair, there is time past, and so it is history. It is past. This is so subtle to know the presence, which is not moving, which is silence, which is your own self. This presence is the only thing that you are, but you cannot grasp it because the mind wants to recognize and judge and control. But at this silence, there is no mind, there is no you, there is no one that is able to rule it. And that's why we go from the past to the future. We think we can control that. And that is your loss. Because you lose your precious moment of silence that you are without that mind that is always past. Even if the mind thinks about the future, the moment that it thinks about the future, that thought is already gone by. It is past. Poof. It's not about those details that I want to speak, but the moment that there are no details visible and possible, because that's what you are. That's your reality. You have no details. And your mind cannot stand it. It flows back to where it can control, what it thinks that it can control. But by mind, I will bury you in your grave, because you are not even born. You were only a movie. The mind is just a movie, and I have seen this for so long now. Please silence, the silent moment. That's your blissful, truly being. Wherever you go, this silence is with you. Whatever you do or act or think, it is all drifting and carried on that silent, precious moment from yourself. You can call that self or love or God or now. It is the now in which nothing happened. That's what you are. Boring, not for yourself, for your mind. That's good. It's a good sign when the mind is boring. It has nothing to grasp. Bye-bye, mind. Without a mind, there is this diamond of yourself. Silence is your only reality. And we lose it every day in business, being busy. Even if you do nothing, just sit still. You are not touching your silence. Your mind goes around in the imagined world. It plays with imagined objects. It likes to play. So it keeps on doing that. Whatever you want to stop it or not. Mind, that is what the mind is. Going out and play with imagined objects. Mind self is imagined. It is not your mind. It's just something that appears. You cannot do anything about it because it's not real. The most close to your reality, the silent that you are, the most deepest, closest touching that silence that you are, is the sound that brings the mind from its busy being and searching and going round like a non-guided project. Everywhere the mind flies around, and that Om sound brings the mind back to its source. At the moment that Om starts, that is the source of the being. Before Om, you are. That's your reality. And what comes out of that reality is imagination. And the first sound of that sound of becoming to live, that sound is that Om. So when you concentrate on Om, you are so close to home, you will feel it. You feel the vibration in the resonance in this is empty here inside. It is empty and it resonates the sound of the primordial sound when you started to begin to appear. That moment, that is in Om. You can recognize that moment of your own beginning. First, you are not visible. You are not formed. That is your reality. And then you start to appear. And at that moment is can feel that you fly back to your source. All the worldly business has gone. It has no possibility to come with you in that home. It has to stay behind. That imagination of the creation. It was not true. You were not there. You thought so. Your mind made it appear. Your mind made it seem that you were there. You were never there in that dream. Concentrate on Om. And then you feel home. Om. Feel the silence vibrate after the sound of Om has gone to its own zero. That silence behind after the Om. That's what you are. Happy, huh? Why do we keep on seeing this world from our human perspective? Why do we keep on seeing things from our personal side? It is fake. It is not real. Person is not real. It is just a thought that you are not one with all that seems to appear. That it is coming out of your own imagination. Why keep on seeing things from a separated being? It is hurting. It is painful. We know it, and still we go on. Is there something more stubborn than a person? Nowhere. Sorry. If we see the things from the side of reality, from the side of the Creator, from the side of God, which is the only truth, then it is boring for the person, because God is seeing everything as himself, as the self, and there is nothing to it. It's an ocean of love. And for us separated people, there's a lot to see. Although it hurts, we still go on looking at it from this separated side. Can you help it? By understanding what you do, what is done. You can do one step. See the things from the greatness that you are, and not from the little separated point that you think you are. The point will be overruled by other points and nothingness. It's not even a thing. It's a little dot. You will be overruled by the other dots that you see around. It is a frightening existence. But we still go on looking from that personal side. Is it ignorance? Is it stubborn? Is it a habitude, a habit? Is it unawareness, or is it fear? All that together keeps us in this separated form, this illusion. If you sometimes now and then feel a bit of the glow of the love of God, then you, oh, that's good. That's immediately back in the person. It's a funny game, it is. While you know you are not this, you continue to behave as if you are this. How much time is needed to get out of this illusion? And how can you get out? As it is illusion, you cannot get out. The only thing is that you see who is the seer of this all. Who is aware of this game, this play of illusion? And then you are out. And keep on feeling that energy. I am aware of all that. I am not all that. I am aware of it. And that I am aware is my real state. God is aware of his own creation. It doesn't touch him, although he is all of it. Why are we touched by every little symptom in this hallucinated existence? Who knows? It will end. Just be aware that you are aware of it all. That's the only peace. We all know that only one exists. All that is that expression, the visible one, that which made itself visible. Look around you and see one. But that's when you are in this form of the one. Before that one took a form, it was not known by itself. One is one. There's nothing to see, nothing to know, so that one imagined two. But that two, which is not real, it's imagined. That two is of course the same as that one. Of course, there's no opposite. So, this one divided this two, and oops, there was number three. All imagination. There's only still one. One in two, one in three, but as this 2 and 3 came out of one, they were not aware what they are. They had to find out. So this 2, that is what we are, is getting to know itself by its opposite. There's still only one. There's always only one, but it pretends it is 2, and then it had to divide 2 in 3. But we know only 2 because we don't know the 1. That's hidden. So these two that we are opposite of each other in that two that you are. The three that comes out of that two is your own dividing. In daily life, that means you see something and you have an opinion about it. That's the number three. The seeing is that number two. You see something, and then in your mind comes the opposite. I like it, but maybe it should better be, oh no, I prefer. And then you have an opinion about your own opinion. There is something that you see, you have an opinion about it, and then the other side of you, the divided side, let's call that number three, but it is the same as you, starts to argue with number two. That's all inside you. I like it. No, I don't like it. How can you do that? It's awful. You should see it from the other side. So we are always against our own self, talking to ourselves. And when you start to become aware of that, you start to feel that, oh, yeah, that's true. I think this and then I think that, or the other thinks different, but it is the same as me, because the one, the two, and the three are both the parts coming out of one. And the one never became two or three. It was always one. So one is divided in one, one, one. And the one over there in you quarrel. I like it, I don't like it, I want it, no, I shouldn't want it, I have to, I must, I refuse. That's all. You are stupid. No, you are stupid. And then war. And you know why all this is played, this play? Yeah. To know that you are, before all this two came out, you are before that. You are this one behind the imagination. Before you imagined, but then you didn't know. So after having imagined number two and number three in yourself, you know you are that one. It's a funny game. It costs a lot of pain to fight with yourself. So stop fighting and accept. It's so funny to know that you are all this time that one is free of opinions. That's God. That's what is called God. So God made himself in two and three parts, and he let them compare. And this is in you. You are this one. Cannot say it enough. You are this one God. And then you start to imagine your own opposite. So you start to imagine your form, your human form. That's number two. Out of this one formless comes number two, your form. And out of your form comes number three, the opposite of your form or opinion. It's clear as a clear sky. As long as you are here, you are three. But the one that you are will expand and take over. And you see everywhere people. That's your own being. Namaste. And this one that you are, that you see before all this, there was this one. Before it started to become two and three and multiply, Then when you see that, you think you have to go back in time and in place and in awareness. Yes, but time and place don't exist, because all this is imagination of that one. So you don't have to wait to become that one. This one is now here. There's no future for the one. There's no past. There's no growth in one. There is no becoming in one. That was the image, the play, the creation. That's creation. To create the opposite of yourself. And then in the opposite, another opposite. So don't wait for then I will be free. You are already this one. This is the all existing God, the all existing one, eternally blissful one. Now, only now. There's no yesterday, there's no tomorrow. Yesterday it was unaware, and tomorrow it shall be aware, because of this creation of time and place and all the place and the opposites and all the fighting and on discovering and becoming aware and understanding. That has taken time in illusion, because it was not really there. So don't hang in this illusion for maybe then I will come out. No, you are not in it. There is no 2 and 3. That was the story. The story is not true. There is only this one. It's eternally one. Happy. Most of the time, be alert, see it, it's true. Most of the time, number 3 is talking to number 2. Number 2 is the creation of God in a form to experience. And number 3 is the opposite of number 2. And that's what you are. Your opinion about what you see. Number 2 is that what sees things and is aware of things. And number 3 is the one having an opinion about what number 2 sees. And both are created to make number 1 know number 1. It's all the same one. It's a divine play. Enjoy. The funny game of number 1, the only existing number 1, dividing itself in 2. And those are the same. 1 is the same as 2 because it's just dividing. So it has to divide 2 in another form, the opposite of that 2. That's 3. So number 1 is God, invisible. And he creates a form, that's you. Number 2. That's the same as God. God is awareness, but it is not known. And then you come out of God. You are this I am. I am awareness. But there's still nothing to know. So God divides number 2 in the opposite. Now there's something to know. God is the all seeing, the formless awareness, and he sees his own number 1, noticing things and doing things. That's what is, that's life, but there is still nothing to be aware of what it actually is. So this number 2 has to have an opposite, the contradiction. So now God knows what it is, what he is, or what it is. It is the silence. The one is silence, everlasting bliss. But because of going into number 2 and in number 3, he now is aware that he is not that form number 2 or number 3, the one that is opposite of the other. God is, oh, for heaven's sake, I am not that. Now I know what I am, and here is your happiness. For heaven's sake, it was not real. I am not that silly person that's fighting all the time against itself. God is happy. So you are happy now, and you know it what you are. Congratulations. Here is a simple example. There exists only bread. And bread doesn't know its taste and what it is actually. So bread, if it had consciousness, it says, oh, I will divide myself. I will cut myself in two. Then I know what I am. But the other side of that bread is exactly the same. It is the same bread as that one. But now it is visible. That number 1 bread can see its own color, its form, but still it doesn't know what it is. So it is now creating number 3 and puts a lot of salt on it. You know? Now God knows what he is. The bread knows its own taste and color, because he knows it is not that salt. That was just an imagination of, well, it's not really good example, but it's about knowing what you are. You divide yourself in one part that is nice and seeing things, and then the other part is the opposite. The not nice part. It's just quarreling and dragging, and you have to go there. So that one bread is one piece of bread is sweet, and the other piece of bread is salt. And one piece of you is sweet, and the other piece of you is ugly, not in visible, but in character. And it will grow to its own goodness. And then the both 3 and 2 will become 1. Well, see for yourself if you understand. I know you will feel what is said, what is meant. Sometimes it's difficult to express what is one. That's why God created all those forms. And he now is so deeply, he always was experiencing the goodness, but now he is knowing in all those forms that it is that one. when there is no resistance, when you have no opinion, you are immortal, because there is nothing in you that can die.